Welcome everyone to this week's edition of the WyoSports video blog. I'm Robert Gagliardi, Senior Editor of WyoSports here in Las Vegas for the Mountain West Conference Basketball Tournament. Men's quarterfinal action getting started tomorrow, Thursday. Wyoming and Utah State in the second game of the day at 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And, familiar foes just last week. Cowboys played maybe one of their best games of the season in a 76-53 win over the Aggies in Laramie on senior night. Obviously, keys to this one: play like you did in the last week. I think if Wyoming does that, that's a slam dunk. But obviously, it's another game. It's on a neutral court. A lot more at stake. I don't expect a similar type of game. But obviously, if Wyoming can do those things, it did well in Laramie. They shot the ball well, 56% from the field, only 6 turnovers, held the edge in rebounding, 26 assists. I mean, it goes on and on. If Wyoming can continue to do that, they're going to be hard to beat by anybody in this tournament. But when you look at this game specifically, obviously teams will make adjustments. So, the first game between the two teams, 12-point game in Logan, favor of the Aggies. Obviously last week, big time win for Wyoming, convincing win for the Cowboys. What happens today? I think it's going to kind of even out. I think it's going to be a pretty tight game. I don't see one or the other team winning by double digits. I see anywhere from a 5 to 8 point game in this one. I think for the Cowboys, a lot of the things it needs to do is what it did in Laramie again. Limit Utah State's shots from the perimeter, at least, contest them. This is almost a 40% shooting team from 3-point range. Numerous guys on the floor can hit threes. When one or two gets going, they're lethal. So, perimeter defense will need to be key. And I thought Wyoming did a good job on David Collette, the redshirt freshman for Utah State. It was the freshman of the year in the league. They didn't double him down, but when he would get the ball, they would send someone. You call it a dig, call it a blitz, call it whatever you want. Kind of disrupted his timing. He also got into some early foul trouble. If Wyoming can be effective in doing that again in whatever way, shape, or form, that'll certainly help them. But also, bottom line, Wyoming's got to make shots. And it sounds simple. Obviously, the team that makes the most shots usually wins a game. But, you go from shooting 55%, 56% against Utah State last Wednesday to making 15 baskets and shooting just over 30% last Saturday in the overtime loss to New Mexico. Got to make shots. And when they get open shots, if you get open looks, you got to make them. Wyoming missed some opportunities early in that game in New Mexico to maybe put the game away early. I mean, they got out to a 9-2 lead, but then couldn't extend it with some open looks that they just didn't make. So when those opportunities come up, especially at tournament time, you got to take advantage of them. But as I wrote in Thursday's Wyoming Tribune Eagle and the Laramie Boomerang, also on WyoSports.net, this is an experienced basketball team. It's been through a lot. Guys that have played a lot of games with each other, this and that. This is where that experience comes into play. Lean on that experience. They've been through a lot, ups and downs, good and bad, all that stuff. This is where it should count, and it'll be interesting to see how Wyoming does play off that in this game. So bottom line, I think it's going to be a tight game. I think Wyoming wins a close one by 5 points. I'm going to go Cowboys 62, Aggies 57. We move on to the semifinals against top-seeded Boise State, who will win their quarterfinals game as well. That'll do it for this week's edition of the WyoSports video blog. For more on University of Wyoming sports, see the Wyoming Tribune Eagle and Laramie Boomerang. Also log on to WyoSports.net. Enjoy the games, everybody.